Hi, and welcome once again to What's the Damage, companion show to the incredibly well-known and popular real play D&D show, Roll for Damage. Yes, this is the show that everyone has been talking about. So, on Friday, our heroes recovered from their harrowing experience at the Ruins of Darkness, an adventure for a lifetime, which saw them coming face to face with Thari's Dune, then coming face to face with their dead friend, then fleeing when preventing the breaking of the shackle proved to be too much for them and Lex. Um, they had to leave. It was all falling apart. It was crazy. Had to run for it. Anyway, back in town and back in Oriana as they drank and licked their wounds, while Lex and pals did the same somewhere else in town. They kind of talking to each other, like trying to process what had happened. Then Oriana got a puppy. It was pretty cool. Oriana decided, made a big decision about who she wants to be going forward as a spellcaster. Everybody was getting character growth, as the world is falling down around their ears, just like in real life. That's what we're all doing in real life too. Good Lord. The question hanging over our heroes' heads is still, what is next? With only one shackle left and the clock ticking, what is next? Questions we'll be pondering here today in just a minute. Also, a note for all you beautiful viewers, we're trying something a little bit different with our stream today. So please, if you see frame drops or the sound gets all glitchy, please leave us a note in the chat so we can try to fix that. It's working okay so far, but we want to keep an eye on it. Anyway, as always, stick around after the stream for links, charities, resources, cool stuff. I am your host, Truth Venson, and this is What's the Damage? Welcome back, and please help me welcome our two guests for tonight. We have got Laura, who plays the undefeatable, uncrushable, wonderful Peregrine, resident Falcon. Then we've got Jake, who plays Oriana, our beautiful, brilliant, talented bard who we all love and never gets us into trouble ever.
We never get mad at her, ever.
Never. No, she is the darling of every person she's ever met. Lil Jewel.
Just the most likable character.
I like Oriana.
Lily White and innocent as the day she was born.
Yeah, Lily White. not bright red at all. Anyway, welcome guys. Thank you for coming on. So you are all back from the Ruins of Darkness. You had a chance to really sit and let all the shit that happened there sink in. What is the damage?
A lot. Mm-hmm. I feel like that's my answer every time, but really,
it's been getting real
for the shields, yeah. It is, the damage is almost always a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. The voice of a man who's seen a lot in this game. Anyway, so a lot did happen, and there are a couple of things that happened episode before last that I want to talk about with you guys because some shit happened. So what was it like for your two characters to see your old pal Dobby? Because I remember, I think Oriana took his his death especially hard, if I'm remembering that correctly, from way back when. So obviously a nasty shock.
Yeah, I mean, Oriana basically had just started opening up to him and trying to build up that friendship into something she really cherished. And then, like, the next day, he gets eaten by a worm. So for
Oriana
her,
gets for making friends.
well, and for her especially, it really was like a gut punch because she hadn't really considered him a friend before. More of like the co-worker that you don't really like, but you get along with well enough to get the job done. And she had just realized how almost like selfish in a way that is. That she's not trying to open up to him, that she's not trying to give him a chance to open up to her. And that was what she was trying to do, or at least was planning to do going forward. And then all of a sudden he's gone, and it's like nothing to be done about it.
Potential. Yeah. What about Peregrine? Like, I don't think she and Dobby were that close, but
yeah, I mean, there was that moment where for whatever reason we decided to send Dobby and Perry to impersonate the butcher.
Right. Oh my god.
And like that will, I think, forever be one of my favorite moments of the campaign because it was so absurd. We were the only ones who hadn't been seen, so like there was no choice. But the idea, well, we'll just send Perry, the most awkward turtle, in to pretend to be a crime boss. And now that we have met the butcher, it makes it so much more ridiculous.
It was kind of working though. Like you guys, I remember this.
I mean, we
now.
were selling it.
Yeah.
And like that moment was like the moment that Perry realized Dobby is a friend. We're never going to get along because morally we are different people, but that doesn't make us enemies. And she was really starting to see Dobby as more than just the guy that keeps trying to buy acid and dynamite everywhere we go.
Kind of acid, either the mean kind.
We literally had a conversation about how much acid would it take to burn someone's ass out. So, I mean, but for Perry, it was just like this gut punch because the way I sort of played it was that because Perry saved for some ungodly reason, the idea that she was awake enough to really recognize what was going on because she's the only one that didn't have short-term madness. It was like this core of like rage. This is the monster that has taken everything that's been taken from me. And then seeing Dobby and hearing him basically say that, you know, we were all trash and that we had treated him like trash. And she realized like, I kind of cast a lot of judgment on him without really taking the moment to understand who he was. And like, she's been carrying around we didn't know him well enough to convince him and the gods to let him stay. And she's been carrying that guilt. So that was really hard for her.
Imagine. So speaking of this monster who's taken so much from you guys, also Mark.
Holy shit.
So what was it like seeing the face of Thara's doom?
Oh my god.
Interacting with him, kind of.
I would like to learn how to cast Modified Memory and use it on myself and just delete that 5 minutes of my life.
That was terrifying. I mean, and like, I trust our DM, but like in the back of my head, I was like, I was the only person to save. And then they start rolling for madness. And I'm like, all I can hear in the back of my head is just TPK. TPK.
It's finally going to happen.
And I'm like, it's about to happen. What the fuck? So it was like absolutely terrifying. I was shaking and I was like, I didn't know how to process it. And I'm like, I'm assuming I probably saved by 1. There's no way I beat that save by very much, and only by the skin of my teeth and Quinn's divine aura. So like, I mean, it was pee your pants scary.
It was a really cool scene, I thought. Okay. Did you answer this one? I just forgot. I'm sorry. I was thinking about how cool it was. I was flashing back to the episode. I was like, that was so cool.
It was a really cool reveal.
Mm-hmm.
It was. For me, I was not, oh, it's going to be a TPK. It's going to be a TPK. As soon as the description was over, and I was like, I rolled stunned for like 20 minutes.
Oh, right. It was like 12 turns or something.
I think it was 14 turns.
Oh, no, there was 14 turns left.
Yeah.
when I finally got fixed. Like it was 20 turns or something. It was
rough.
Ridiculous.
It was crazy.
It
Yeah.
was terrifying because I was like, I can't carry Perry. Perry can't carry Oriana out of here. What are we gonna do?
Like, okay, Oriana's just like a statue.
So on the bright side, I had a lot of time on my hands when that combat started.
Think, yeah.
And I used that time wisely. Did you know the only spell in the game that can cure stunned is Wish?
Really?
Yes.
Well, I think
so OP.
Or Power Word Heal. Sorry. Or Power Word Heal.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you need an 8th or a 9th level spell.
Oh, stun's powerful.
Yeah, and literally talking to Serenity after, because we were all talking about that moment, she would have allowed a greater restoration. Unfortunately, Perry took a level of sorcerer. I mean, I literally, that's what I was thinking the whole time. Mm-hmm. I was like, well, shit, I took a level of sorcerer.
Yeah.
Does Quinn have greater restoration?
He doesn't have 5th.
He doesn't have level spells yet.
He just got 3rds not that long ago.
Paladins are puny when it comes to casting.
Yeah. They're half casters, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or,
yeah,
because they get it level 2.
Yeah, they're half casts.
So Oriana is the only one who currently has it. Oriana is currently the only one capable of casting it.
Yeah. I mean, I guess technically I'd be able to cast it because I have 5th level slots.
Mm-hmm.
Nope, because you can't use 5th level druid spells.
I'd have to roll an Arcana check, I'm betting.
You would probably
I'm not proficient in
need
Arcana.
a scroll though, because you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I think you would need a scroll. You would.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is I would need a scroll to be able to do it.
Do you still have your magic staff thing? Could Oriana put it in your?
I'm not attuned to it.
And that was only up to 3rd level.
Yeah.
Oh, too bad.
No, my attunement slots now have the bracers, the book, and.
Oh look, our DM's in chat, giving us advice.
Yes. Thanks, Serenity. Yes, I would need a scroll. What is the 3rd thing I have no idea what the 3rd thing I'm attuned to is, but I'm attuned to it.
There's your book. Don't you have another staff now?
I do not. I had the staff.
You have
book.
You have the bracers or whatever they are.
Yeah, I have the bracers. Oh, I have the robe of sands.
Oh yeah.
I took. Perry took. And again, the DM is in chat. I have the robe, the bracers, and the book. I promise when I'm in game, it's on my character sheet, and I do remember what I have. But yeah, I'm not attuned to the staff, and I can only hold 3rd level spells anyway.
Bad. Cool beans. So I'm wondering. So like, after seeing Tharizdun in person, and after seeing like what happened to Dobby, and watching like the 3rd shackle break, second shackle break, and all of that shit. Has this like changed anything for your characters? Like changed your outlook? Like given you, I don't know, something?
Oriana's definitely feeling the sense of urgency now. She was always kind of feeling it, and then the whole group was kind of like, relax, we've got time. So Oriana kind of started chilling out a little bit, which was more from like her innocence of the fact that she's not world traveled, doesn't know how long it takes to get places.
Wow.
Yeah, but now that a second shackle is broken, and if 3 break, we are into shit. Orion is definitely thinking,
Hmm.
how many detours can we take at this point?
Right.
Not many.
Yeah, I feel like really early on, and Lex really brought this up during that social encounter. Perry was the one with the most at stake here. Like she was the one with the personal connection. And with like small exceptions, Perry has always been the no, we have to face this and we have to face this head on. And then when she got to the point where she was literally told, no, your people aren't sick, they're as soon as eating them. Perry was like, oh shit. So I was right that this was something that was like a lot more pressing. And so for her, like we had that conversation where everybody was like, well, we'll just not go to the shackles and we'll do the little stuff. And the whole time Perry's like, no, if I don't face this head on, more of my people are going to die and it's going to keep going. And so like, it was very hard for her if she weren't in a traumatic state to not be like, I told you so. Now you see, I told you so. Like, this is the very reason I said, no, we have to face this. So for Perry, it has just cemented the idea of no, we have to stop this at its source. Because if we do not, we're in for a world of hurt.
You know what's funny? It almost makes Perry seem like genre savvy. She's like, no, this is the main plot line, guys. The fucking main plot line.
And I thought, you know, when I wrote my backstory, I was just thinking, what if it is like a magic resistant plague? Like, what if it's just some kind of disease? And I left that completely wide open for Serenity to do whatever the hell she wanted to it. And we now see what she did.
Yeah.
But it's really funny because I didn't expect for Perry's issue to be like that connected. I was like, no, she's just going to like go around and basically got to catch them all of the different Ocean and bring a cure back home. And she's the cure and she has to stop Tharizdun now.
And I thought Damien was just a guy who found out the truth on the streets.
Ha ha.
Ooh, maybe he's connected to Tharizdun too.
Please no. Shit. Please no.
Hey, Saray.
Don't give her ideas.
Hey, Saray.
Oh gosh.
Lordy. Queens. So with Oriana, I'm curious now because you said Oriana now has a little bit more of a sense of urgency, but you do owe Cade some community service.
Yeah, I mean we have to deal with that. I think
the world is you don't have to worry about it anymore.
True, but we don't want the world to end.
I mean, our goal is to stop it.
What's pretty fortuitous is that Quinn also kind of needs to go in that area. So we have a reason to go there. It's not just Oriana's trying to make sure she can come back home. We also have to go in that direction to maybe get some herbs that Quinn's going to need later to save his family, or at least release his family. So we're not like taking a random detour out of our way. We're doing something that's pretty important for two characters.
You're multitasking.
Yeah. It's not like we're going all the way back to Zuma or something. You know what I mean? Like we're taking a small detour off the beaten path and then hopefully going straight to where we need to go.
Hopefully. Cool beans. So skipping ahead a bit. Yeah, kind of like, so you were all discussing this with each other in game and with Lex and Fulton and the other NPCs, but kind of what do you think is next for the forces of good now that you only have one shackle left? Like, it's gone a bit urgent.
Yeah. I mean, I think part of the reason that like Perry is for going north is the other thing that this does is puts us in good standing with a government with power who can be an ally if we fail. And Perry is
Fenric brought up as well.
Yeah, well, because the way Perry sees it, we were too late twice. What if we're too late again? And right now she's thinking of, who do we know? Because we know that, Lex is like, well, yeah, I'll just like send out a message and like start gathering allies. But we need to contribute too. And the idea of, well, we did this thing and now we're in good standing back in Riverrun. Hopefully that means that like Oriana will be able to say, hey, Cade, we have a situation. You remember how I made that offhand comment trying to throw my weight around? It's very real.
Surprise.
Don't make that face, Jake. Oriana definitely
so much throwing weight around.
Oh, Oriana definitely goes, Riverrun is in danger and you need me out of jail. And I was like, we all know what kind of smug prissy shit she was getting into. We were all watching that stream.
It wasn't a bad play if it
wasn't if it had worked. I just was like, this is not gonna work. Because we met Alexander. It was not going to work. But like for Perry, that's part of it is like, she thinks, well, okay, well, we need to be able to call in our allies. So we need to be making good with our allies. Mm-hmm. Like Perry can be like, okay, well, I guess I got to call the Jorah. Be like, send help. Because that's the other thing that she's thinking about is now we have to go to Veladon. And this is the closest she will have been to home since she left. And like, she's acutely aware that if the shackle falls in Veladon, her people are completely unprotected. Mm-hmm. So for her, like she doesn't want to go home per se, because she doesn't want to go back empty-handed. But at the same time, like part of her is like, I really wish that I had message, because then I would send a message to Warrior and be like, hey, trouble is coming, rally the forces.
Troubles are really coming, guys. I mean, she's not entirely empty-handed. Like Perry knows what the cure for her people are, which is killing a god. So that's easy.
Well, let's just slap Thorstein in the face. It'll be fine. The cure is put that thing back where it came from. Or so help me. And a ritual. But like the fact that we're like getting into good standing with places, like we are part of an organization in Cage Barrow. We are getting good standing in Zuma. We, if we make nice with Cade and do good for them, then those are people that we can, when we send a message back, they'll believe us. Mm-hmm. And that's my big, Perry's big concern is like, I don't want to be like, hey, y'all, Guard of Darkness is coming, and people are like, ha ha, crazy bitch. And just walk on by.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly don't know how this is going to go down. I have a few suspicions and ideas, but definitely at this point, we need to start thinking about the end game, because there are 3 shackles left, and only one of them needs to fall, and only one of them, like, some of the most badasses in the world can get to in theoretically a few moments. I mean, Lex told us that the one in Iskrav is fairly well protected, but we also thought the one in Riverrun was kind of well protected because it was right near the capital of a powerful empire.
I will say Perry did not think that, because she didn't know enough.
They weren't really guarding it, were they? Like
they don't know it's there.
Yeah,
but I mean,
not that protected.
We've seen how paranoid Riverrun is, and it's
That's
only
true.
a couple. It's a short hike to it from Riverrun. So I think the idea is less that there's so many guards in front of it blocking the entrance, and more of a no one would be stupid enough to go sneaking around the capital of a Trill.
I guess you don't have to sneak in when you're the fucking herald.
When you
just pop in that bitch.
Apparently not. Yeah.
Oh.
But that also means, like, even if Riverrun was considered to be protected, Veladon's is also supposed to be protected, but same way.
I mean, the thing about Veladon that's scary is it is the least protected, according to Lex, because it is a place where there's no arcane. It has the best locks because it is unguarded. And like
Interesting.
Perry now knowing that the weakness of the Ocean is the lack of arcane. And then like, oh, and you have a shackle out there in Veladon with no arcane shit. That's terrifying.
DM is saying it has the heaviest magical defense because of the anti-arcane, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
But not
Yeah,
the
and we
best
know-
physical defenses. So
Well, we know
I
the
guess-
Herald is pretty magical, and everyone else we talked to is pretty magical, I think.
Yeah.
So I guess maybe River Wrens, because River Wrens was sealed, was probably one of the most physically. Either that or Iskrav, I'm guessing.
I mean, we know the most secure one is at Avonhurst, or at least that's Perry's assumption.
Well, that's what we've been told by
Yeah.
Lux Arcana as well, that because it's in Avonhurst, and well, I think partly because it's in Avonhurst, where like the capital of religious powers are, and then you also have the fact that the shrine at the top is actually, like the base of operations of the people who apparently stopped his not Herald last time, I guess.
His non-avatar. That's what I'm going with now.
His Kumar, I guess. I don't know.
My
It's a
God.
fake avatar.
Wonderful. Okay. So moving on from all that, and actually relatedly to the whole issue of like Veladon's magic versus non-magic, Perry had a little conversation with Coraline in a dream regarding kind of how she wants to move forward, because she had that like a choice of like how she wanted to grow as a magic caster. So you talk about that.
So exciting. I have a whole custom sorceress origin designed by the DM, and it is amazing. I really get to like play with nature, and it's, I'm literally a natural sorcerer, which is super fun. And like it came at a really good point, because having us face Tharizdun and then having Perry have to make the choice. Do you continue to be a druid, or do you continue to grow in the way that you think will make you strongest, even if it is scarier, even if it is not what you are used to? It gave her this moment of decision. Like she had to make a choice to forge a new path, which was really exciting. And of course, since we had a break, I got like 2 weeks to consider, like, what do I want to do here? And like I had 2 really, really good choices, and it was a really hard decision. But I decided to go with natural because it felt the most like Perry. The idea of you have a connection to nature, you're just not as attuned to druidic power as as druids are. And that felt very Perry to me.
Yeah, she's sort of differently attuned.
Yeah. Her attunement to nature is very different.
Neat. Well, I'm excited to see what kind of like cool stuff you get with your custom sorcerer origin story thingy. What's it called? It's Origins, right?
Yeah. It's Origin.
It is Origins. Okay.
Yeah, the first thing I got was Find Familiar. And also a neat trick I can't wait to use in combat, but we'll see that when it gets here.
A friend.
So I have the little fox now. So
speaking of animal friends, what?
I was going to add, and since you're a natural sorcerer now, you could always take that last leveling druid.
No.
Darn. Darn. Anyway, speaking of animal friends, Oriana's granddad got her a puppy.
That was very cute.
It was very cute. Yeah. But why Oriana asked for an animal specific or a creature?
So there's actually quite a long story to this, and I guess this is as good a place to tell it as any.
Yes.
I had been looking through, because I got my magical secrets this level up. I had been looking through basically every spellcaster spell list, looking for spells that would make sense to get for it. I had a couple ideas, so people have probably guessed now that that's Find Find Greater Steed or whatever it is. And that's what it's going to be. And part of that was for character purposes, allowing Oriana to sort of grow closer to Asmodeus. by being able to summon a spirit, theoretically of his plane, of his dimension, to fight by her side. Something for her to feel closer to him in some way. Yes, and I had been planning on a Pegasus because that's actually one of the options you can get. But the day before our stream game, actually, we ended up putting down the family dog, a golden retriever. She, had lived a long, happy life, 13 years, which is longer than most Goldens live. And it was a pretty rough week. And I had been struggling to figure out a name for this Pegasus for the longest time. And so I went to Serenity. I think it was actually the day of the stream. And I said, I would like to name the creature Cinder after my dog, Cindy. And that's all I told her. I still thought I was getting a Pegasus. And DM, she's in chat. She's saying now, she was like, you do you. And little did I know she was weaving together this plan to custom make this flying hellhound golden retriever modeled completely after my dog. And I think I actually warned her that I might end up crying because of the name. Just because of the name. And she did that, and it was everything in my power not to start breaking down.
Yeah, I don't think you cried on stream. I'm impressed.
I was close.
I was very impressed.
I was very close. I could feel the tears trying to push their ways out, but I knew if I started, I would just be done for the stream.
Oh, that's sweet. It's a really sweet little tribute for your dog.
And I guess this is as good a place as any to announce that I actually commissioned art for Cinder.
We're gonna get to see Cindy.
And I will provide that to whoever needs that, I guess, for when to put in the art crawl, because it's our artist. It's the person doing all of our art, Leela.
Yeah. Oh, I'm excited for that. Because
I'm super excited to see.
Golden retriever.
I've already gotten the sketch. I'm not going to share it yet, though.
Okay, cool. So we'll keep an eye out on our Twitter for the world premiere of Cindy. Cool beans. Lord. Okay. I have a couple of things I want to ask before we move on. So we're gonna do this quick fire because I have a cool topic for today. So, Laura.
Yes.
Is the thing with Fulton and Peregrine still a thing, or are you just really busy right now?
I was literally just having this conversation earlier. It's difficult because the thing is Perry hasn't been thinking about this at all, because the world's on fire, and also because she literally sees herself as constantly putting out little fires. When I was having this conversation with Chad, I was saying it's every time she turns around, something is on fire. Either the world's on fire, or Oriana's hair is on fire, or Campion just started a fire over there. And she's just running around like a little fire brigade with her little bell going ding, 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 ding with a bucket and just putting out small fires. And when I designed her, she was this awkward turtle. I didn't have any intention of her becoming even remotely close to the leader or the mom friend here. And she's become a little bit of both. So she really hasn't given it a lot of thought. So, and it's awkward because I'm an awkward person. I'm really awkward. I'm really bad at people. So yes, no, maybe. That's maybe. The short answer. We'll see.
We'll keep an eye on that. I think Peregrine deserves to have a cute boyfriend. He's a nerd. If cute. I ship it. Anyway, okay, one more thing. So Oriana got her violin upgraded and it was super cool. I feel like Oriana's had a really good episode for like getting cool shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Jay actually messaged me right after the session where we got the level up
Mhm.
right at the end, asking if I preferred to have the ring or a +1 instrument, and I'm like, or a +1 focus or something.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's kind of odd. I mean, I guess the +1 focus.
He was plotting.
Because the ring is really only like a, hey, I get a free sending essentially, so sure. And he's like, okay. I'm like, nothing else. And I'm like, is that one of his? And I was like trying to remember for like a while during that conversation. Is that one of his like things that he can do? I guess. And then yeah, when he was like, yeah, I'm gonna upgrade your violin, I thought he was just gonna give me a wand or something. And I'm like, that'd be interesting to see Oriana with a wand. And he's like,
Oriana with a conductor's wand.
I need your wand. I need your violin. And I'm like, oh, sure. I thought he was gonna like look at it or something, and then no, he's like straight up made it a
it's a cool violin.
Focus.
It's like an electric violin now.
Yes, but it was a bribe.
Gosh.
Let's not forget it's a bribe.
Can that be? Yeah. Well, he told me +1 DM, so that's what he told me. But so getting it as a +2 is actually pretty cool. But yeah, DM, we need to talk about the potentially being an electric violin now.
Because like electric instruments are canon because there's that electric guitar.
True. But then I would need an amp, so Jay's gonna have to build an amp.
It's magic. Okay, it's magic. You have a magic amp. Anyway.
Wait. Sorry, I need to give it. It's not magic. It's science.
Important. Let's not forget that it was actually a bribe to steal your diary.
And yes, it was a bribe to steal my diary.
It's
It's not a diary. It's a tome of bardic wisdom.
It's a diary.
I think both. Anyway, okay. With that, we are going to move on to our topic for today, and our topic for today is high versus low levels, because you can experience both in D&D. As you know, you guys just leveled up. In fact, that's probably why I thought of it. Anyway, so in your opinion, first question, what level do most classes become like truly fun to play? When do you hit the peak?
I mean, I feel like level 3 for a lot of things. Like level 2 to level 3 is when like you get to do stuff. Like with some small exceptions, you get your circle or your fighter archetype or your ranger subclass or that sort of thing. And then you get to start to do cool shit, because like when you're level 1 or level 2, you've got like 3 things in your arsenal, maybe. And most of them are just like, I did the little, I stabbed it for a D4. So I feel like a lot of things don't really start to get exciting until like level 3.
That's definitely when D&D starts being super fun, in my opinion, because you're right, Laura. I think it's like sorcerers, wizards, and I think one other class that get their archetype at below level 3. Yeah. Sorcerers at level 1, wizards at 2, and then I think
druids at 2. No, sorcerers are at 1.
Yeah. I said sorcerers at 1, wizards at 2.
Druids at 2, because you get your circle at level 2. You get your circle at level 2.
Oh, right. You get no.
Because we technically started the stream at level 2 because we did session 1 to get to our our start.
So it's like those 3 classes are essentially you get your fun stuff before level 3. So level 3 is definitely when it starts getting fun. I would say the upper limit on that is usually around 14, 15. Because post 15, you're starting to look at like all of the stuff you have. And that's around the time where combats have to be They don't have to be a slog fest, but
they do become a little bit more of a slog fest.
if you want them to be challenging, they have to be a slog fest, because at that point you're either dealing so much damage or you have so many different options to go with that you have to have all this stuff thrown at you at once.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've played in, I think there was one shot I did where we were super high level. I don't think we were, I think we were actually like 15, 16. And one round of combat was like 30 minutes in real time, just 30 minutes for one round. And it was just the most sloggiest slogfest ever. And then you look at like things like the Critical Role Campaign 1 finale, the Vecna fight. Spoilers. Spoilers for something that's been
a while.
For 4 years now. That, like, I think in total was like 5 or 6 rounds for like a 4-hour episode. Like, it was not, there was not that many rounds of combat, if I remember correctly. And you're still looking at like a 4-hour plus episode.
Yeah, I guess when you have a bunch of abilities that like stack and like synergize, it can get crunchy.
Yeah, I mean, I think part of the issue is like you get a little bit of analysis like when you get to that high level, and it's like, what do I do? Do I use this thing that does this much, or do I use this thing? And like, how cool do I want to make this look? But at the same time, like, I think it boils down to like how smart your bad guys have to be. And that can make things drag. Like if your BBEG is a fucking caster, and they do things like cast time stop, and then they get to do all this shit, and then you can't do anything to them because they've done all this shit. It takes forever for you to like break through like their first, level of armor before you're actually doing any damage. And that can make it drag out. Because either you're going to die quickly, or you're just going to be like throwing pebbles until like time runs out on some spells, or you're just fighting to break concentration on this one thing. And also table size. Like if you've got a big group of high level characters, it's going to take you 6 hours.
Yeah, I feel like at high levels, like combat, it sort of depends on how much you enjoy like the mechanics of D&D. And I kind of do enjoy the mechanics of D&D, but comics, I feel like at high levels become increasingly like a complicated card game. In a way, it's the
DM says, magic. Get ready, everyone. So BBEG might be a fucking caster.
I mean, obviously,
no,
never.
I mean, we all know Cynric's the BBEG. Like, let's be honest.
It might be Donnie.
Oh God.
I miss Donnie.
But you just watch us all cry on stream while we kill Donnie.
Watch it live.
I guess I should rephrase. It's not that D&D isn't fun at the higher levels, but like with what Laura said, you get so many options, especially with casters, that combat just takes longer and longer and longer and longer and longer. Outside of combat, high levels are like the best because you can just be like, I feel like vacationing at an island today. Teleport. Oops.
I feel like not paying for it. Dominate person. Yeah. To be a high level villain. Anyway,
yeah.
Also, I feel like at high levels combat, like if you don't want to take it forever, you almost have to make it like a little bit cinematic. You have to start like massaging the mechanics a little bit to streamline it. Yeah. We'll see. I'm excited for your characters to get high level though, like really high level, because you're getting up there.
Yeah, we're already halfway to 20, and that's high level for like a lot of campaigns. A lot of campaigns end at like 15. And like I'm really excited to see the kind of heroes our characters become as they get higher levels.
Yeah. Where are you guys now? 11, 10?
10.
We're 10.
10. Like that's 10 times as strong as a normal person in D&D world. So you guys have a pretty big deal right now. This is higher level than most adventures, probably.
I mean, we're at the point where the Shields of Twilight are probably not like as big of a name, obviously, as Lux Eterna, but we're like on the way to that. I mean, when you think about it, we've been through some of the Free Kingdoms, introducing ourselves as such, doing things along the way to help people.
Yeah.
We then went to Saratan and pretty much traveled all over to all the major areas. Well, not all the major areas, but I mean, the capital, Cage Barrow. I think there was the one coastal city we didn't go to. Like, I mean, and we did a lot of stuff there. Traveled through like half of Izel, including Zuma, where we did a lot of stuff there. Like, we're fairly well known at this point. It's not like we'll go to Veladon and people will whisper like, "Oh, is that the Shield of Twilight? I heard so much about." But
we
we're
hope
not
not,
far
because
off from
Cedric is technically not allowed in town.
True.
Technically.
I mean, I wasn't allowed in my hometown either, and that turned out
I
fine.
think they wanted you to come back, actually.
Oh, they wanted you back in town so they could arrest you.
Yeah.
Like, they were just waiting. There were wanted posters for when you came back into town.
Oh, fun times. So do you guys like, because we talked about how most things get the really cool stuff at level 3. Do you mind coming into games at level 1 and working your way up, or do you kind of prefer to jump in at level 2 or level 3?
If I were to jump into a game at level 1, I would expect the first session is a level up. Not because it has to be or it should be, but just because level 1 for multiple sessions, like that gets tedious.
I hate to break it to you about Wednesday's game then, Jake.
All right.
Icewind is a milestone module, and you definitely will not achieve that first milestone in the first session. Good luck.
Let me rephrase then. As long as you don't plan on keeping us at level 1 for 5 sessions.
I mean, it's gonna, you know what? Talk to your party. Y'all better get some shit done. I kid. But seriously, am I? We'll see. Because our session 1 is tomorrow. So I think I've done it both ways. And I mean, I don't mind starting at level 1. It's maybe a little tedious because like a level 1 druid couldn't do shit. And I tangled myself and Fulton in our session 0 because I didn't pay attention to my own stuff, which was very on brand for Perry in the end.
You were still getting used to the druidic magics.
And it had been established in my backstory that apparently I wasn't good at it anyway. But I mean, like, for me, I don't think I really care that much. Because like those early sessions are usually more like getting to know each other, and you don't need to be level 3 to make friends with your party. And it's all establishing shots.
Yes. So what's the highest level either of you have gotten to in a game?
That wasn't a one shot?
Yeah, that wasn't a one shot.
I'm trying to remember. I had a in-person game on Thursdays for a while, and we got to level 12, I think.
Level
Either 12
14.
or 13. Either 12 or 13. I could cast 6th level spells, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, the highest I've gotten is level 14, which is currently what I'm doing now with a ranger and a warlock. And we're at the I have the neat once a day tricks with my warlock, which is fun. I cast plane shift once a day.
So you can go, but you can't come back.
The same with teleportation circle.
One way.
It's a one-way trip. Oh wait, now no, we just got 15 actually.
Oh.
The DM corrects me and calls me a liar because we just hit 15 because it is the game that Chad DMs with Serenity and I. So how dare I take away that extra layer? level
Fair.
from Riordan and her other character.
Yeah. So is this like the first time you've gone to like a really higher level?
Yeah.
What's it like compared to like playing lower levels?
I mean, the thing is, like, Tara has become like a combat fucking god. Like, she can do, like, the other thing is though that like she's got, you know, artifacts and stuff that make her more powerful. But like it's really cool to be able to decide, well, no, I'm going to do something crazy, and that crazy thing is I'm going to throw my sword and hope it hits so that I can do like a neat trick where I land and drive another blade in the ground and like stun a high level caster.
You're like up to doing like anime shit.
Yeah, like what that, and I think that's the most fun thing about being at a high level in combat is you get to do the anime bullshit. Like, it's the shit that does not make logical sense, but my abilities say I can do it, and I will narratively explain it.
Tara's a warlock now?
No, Tara's a ranger. We have Serenity and I are both running 2 characters at once at this point because we wanted to finish the campaign out. And Jake bowed out because just so much going on. So like I am running a warlock, Pact of the Fae, Pact of the Chain. She has the bitchiest Fae dragon familiar. Chad has made her a bitchy cat. She's a delight. So I have the Fae warlock, and then Tara is still a absolute nightmare on the battlefield.
Awesome. So Jake, you've played higher levels in like one shots, right? Like, what's the highest you've ever done with that?
I think I did either like 15 or 16 level 1 shot ones.
What do you think the difference is of those high levels?
It's definitely when you start getting the really, you know, the cool shit. Like the warlocks get there once a day, level, you know, 7 to 8, whatever spells. Druids start getting to the point where, you know, they can cast miracles basically. Wizards are at the point where
they're basically gods.
They're basically gods, and against mass combat, they can just go, oh, small battlefield.
Like, oh, mass combat? No, it isn't.
Meteor swarm.
You know,
let me opt out.
all those memes of like the wizards who do 1,000 damage in a turn because they cast like a massive fireball onto like 100 people. You know, it's the point where like the real power fantasy starts playing into things, for lack of a better term. So it's definitely good for that. The only downside to that is I have so many options. Do I eat the chocolate cake or the cookies or the ice cream? You know what I mean? It's you can have too much of a.
You just need to start throwing darts at the table. You know.
Yeah.
The thing people say.
The one thing I will say is when you get there naturally through level progression, you have the benefit of everyone has their role to play within the party. So it's a lot easier to sort of figure out what you would need to do. Whereas if you're doing a one shot, you have no idea how everyone else at the table is going to play their character. Even if you know what they have, the wizard could take all support spells. The druid could take all evocation spells.
Yeah.
The bard could have no support spells. You know what I mean? Like it's you never know. You never know. You never know what other people are going to do, and as a result, you kind of have to think 10 steps ahead of yourself, which again furthers that sort of analysis paralysis of well, wait a minute, if I do this now, what are they going to do? Okay, and then all that stuff. So
yeah.
Could you play a purely DPS bard? Probably, right?
I mean, theoretically, they don't get a lot of damaging spells, especially in like level 2 to level 3.
But you can be like a a School of Swords or something, so you can just
College of Swords bards.
College of Swords,
College of Swords, yeah.
College of Swords Bard would
or
make
College
a-
of Valor if you want to be like a frontline, like half tank, I guess,
Yeah.
because you get like medium armor and proficiency with martial weapons. And
Yeah.
My next bard character. I can't. I actually played a fight bard last time I played a bard. Just a stabby bard, for fun. So as DMs, is there like a certain level past which characters it starts getting really hard to run for them?
I guess it depends on how much experience you have of DMing at higher levels.
Mhm.
You want to make combat the focus or lack thereof of focus for your campaign. For the old Wednesday game before we put it on hiatus, we were getting pretty high up in levels. I think we were 11 or 12.
I think we were 12 at that point.
And at that point, like, I hadn't really had a lot of experience with post 10 level players in combat. So a lot of our combats would just kind of fall really short or would feel overly tuned. Like I had this baby Kraken encounter once that was no it was
there was nothing cute about that thing,
and I was looking at it to try and make it like something that would like take up some spells and all that. So I gave it this really unique ability, and it kind of broke the combat.
What's the ability? What's the ability?
I gave it a charisma save, like it wasn't a possession. It
was basically a siren song.
Yeah.
Ooh, that is
which was neat, except that it did in fact break us. It did just break the combat a little bit in a way it was
it was water,
says it destroyed us, and it did. It fucking wrecked us.
It was water-based combat, which no one in the party was really equipped for, and I hadn't taken into account. And it charmed the barbarian
and the wizard.
The main caster and the main tank. So they were pretty much out of the fight for like 2 rounds, which at that level of combat is enough that the fight gets pretty
over. Yeah.
And it charmed them to go into the water because it's a way to lure people in so that it can.
Yeah, and it had electric attacks. So
in the water?
In the water.
No wait, yeah, that was a base ability of the Kraken, I think.
That does sound rough. And
it was, to your credit, like we're all, we were also a party that was very experienced and like good at working together. And that is the other thing that is difficult with high level characters. If you've got a party that knows their shit and knows how to work together, it's really difficult to both challenge them, but also not overdo it.
Yeah. It's like you have to come up with these wild mechanics, but they can't be too good.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. What about DMing like really low levels, like level 1? Are there any challenges that come with that? Because everybody's so squishy.
I think, and Laura, you can jump in if you want. Sorry, I didn't.
Go ahead.
I think that's actually a lot easier for people to DM because the CR, the challenge rating system, is very much friendly to low-level characters.
That's true.
Once you start getting higher level, what really breaks the game are items, because items aren't included in challenge ratings at all. So if you have, level 1 characters with fully leveled up artifacts, you're not really going to challenge them with the normal challenge ratings. But level 1 characters level 1 characters very rarely have a +3 weapon.
Right. Yeah, I think that like if my issue and the thing that I'm very concerned about is for because we were starting our campaign tomorrow and everybody is level 1 because we're running, we're going to start with Icewind and move forward. It depends on your module because, like, spoilers, Perkins modules are very rough, even on first level characters. So, like, throwing first level characters into the fucking death house, for example, in Strahd, it'll waste your characters. So, like, I'm already looking at, like, how am I going to customize this so that I don't kill my squishies before they can even get to level 2? Because you're looking at characters who have like 10 hit points or less.
Yeah. So easy a TPK.
Yeah, you could easily just a cold wind is going to blow them over and they're going to be gone.
And that
could literally happen in Icewind.
Yeah.
I could literally kill them in one shot with an avalanche. I promise you, I will not do that in the first session.
Yeah, Tig pointed out in Lost Mines, level 1, you fight a bugbear and 2 wolves.
Yeah, like it's very, very easy. Like I literally almost killed my brother's character in the first game I ever DM'd because I smacked him and rolled max damage. And I was like, oh shit. Well, I mean,
I remember you mentioned that. Yeah.
Yeah, let's just say this was non-lethal and literally just to get your attention. Because otherwise, well, roll up a new character because I just killed your Dragonborn right now. And we haven't even gotten 5 minutes into this session.
Yeah, let's just pause the game for 20 minutes while you come with it.
Yeah, just roll some more dice. It's fine. Don't worry about it. But like that's the thing is like first level characters are really easy to kill. And you need to be mindful. They're easy to scale. You can also easily scale a combat for them, though. Jake is right. The CR system is incredibly friendly for first level characters if you know how to scale it. Like, know when one too many is one too many, and also know when to motivate your monsters to not go for the kill. Like, don't design a combat where they are absolutely wolves that want to eat your party. If you know that your characters are so squishy, they're not going to survive. Give them something to fight that will leave them alive on purpose. That way you don't kill your squishies.
These squishies can grow and thrive. Can't let squishy. Okay, and that is our time for today. Some sage advice from our wonderful guests. Thank you guys so much for coming on today. And we will not be here next week because I am taking a week off for early Thanksgiving. So no, nothing on Tuesday, but do tune in on Friday for the next episode of Roll for Damage, and then nothing until the next Friday. Yeah, anyway, so thank you guys for tuning in once again. Make sure to check out our Twitch. We have the backlog of all of our episodes, some gaming from Serenity, cool stuff. Check out our YouTube. We have every episode of both our shows that we've ever done up there. So feel free to binge at work, in the car. All cool. Speaking of in the car, for cars and long journeys and anything else where you need to use your eyes, our podcast is great. It's just this, but without the visuals. So check that out wherever podcasts are sold. Check out our store. We've got mugs and t-shirts and cool shit. Check out our Patreon. We've got exclusive behind the scenes stuff, which you can't see anywhere else. It's really cool. Check out our Twitter. We tweet pretty regularly. We think we're still doing our art crawl pretty soon. Cinder's going to be up, so you'll get to see him or her. I don't think we got a gender on that dog, whatever. Them, they're cool. We love them. They're going to be our most popular character.
I may or may not be borrowing the Ring of Animal Friendship.
Do you guys still have that?
It's not an attunement slot, so Perry keeps it.
Oh, okay. Cool beans. I had forgotten completely about that. Anyway, do we have any other things I need to shout out? I think that's it. Oh, Discord. I always forget Discord. Please come to Discord, hang out with us. We post D&D memes all the time, and we are hilarious and fun, and you want to be friends with us. Subliminal messaging. Anyway, thank you, and I hope you have a great night. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.